Okay, if you're like me, you should label these notes as grammar and writing, whether that's a whole page or just the title at the top. That way you know you're writing all under grammar and writing. So when you get to class each day, you'll have something like this on the screen. It's going to tell you the topic. Again, if you like labeling, you'll have a topic every day. Today is the writing process. You can label this section of notes. We'll have a new topic each day. When you come into class, you're going to have something on the screen. It's going to ask you to either edit something or answer questions or list something or draw some sort of diagram. Today it's asking you these 3 questions. The expectation is that you write the question down and answer the question, and then we'll go over it as a class. Why do you think I want you to write the questions down? Jacob?
Later on when you're looking at your notes, you know what you are answering.
Yes, that's really important. Also, I pulled out these questions from the test. There's a lot of things from the test that I pulled out word for word and put on our notes right now. That way you knew exactly what you were looking for when you're going to take that test. So our 3 questions today about the writing process are, what are the 5 steps in the writing process? What is the difference between revising and editing? What are the different ways you can publish your writing? So think about what you do when you do writing. Because you already know these answers. You just need to think about what are the steps. See if you can label them. Berkeley? Yes. All right, who knows what the first step of the writing process is? Outlining, what else could we call it? Pre-writing. It is pre-writing on the test. So brainstorming, outlining, graphic organizer, that's all under pre-writing. On the test, it wants you to write pre-writing. What would come after pre-writing? Drafting. What about after drafting? Revising. And then editing, and then publishing. Make sure you have those written down in that order. Pre-writing, writing, revising, editing, publishing. On the test, a lot of students mix up revising and editing. Revising comes first, editing comes second. What's the difference between the 2? What was that?
Go to look for mistakes and fix your mistakes.
Kind of, but not really. So you do fix all of your mistakes. Let's look at the 6 traits of writing. I know I went over this last year, and I know I went over it this year with you guys. The 6 traits of writing also tell you what you're doing for revising and editing. So ideas, organization, voice, and word choice are all part of revisions. Sentence sequencing conventions are part of editing. When you're revising, you're taking your ideas and maybe expanding on them, adding more ideas. You're organizing them. You're changing your voice, and you're changing your word choice. That's all revision. Editing and sentence fluency, that's looking at conventions. You want your sentences to flow. You want to be sure you have a subject and predicate in each sentence. You want capitalization, punctuation. So that's all editing. It's the convention side. Does that make sense? Yes, so revising is more with the content. Editing is more the conventions. So on the test, this is one, again, that a lot of people mix up. If you look up here, these will be up here when you're taking this test. Remember, the first 4 of the 6 traits of writing go with revision. The second 2 go with editing. And then you'll remember that revision comes first and editing comes second. More like content. Make sure you're putting something like content in your definition on the test, not just style. Last question, what are the different ways you can publish your writing? What do you do when you're done with your essay? You turn it in, you share it how?
You read it to your class.
Yeah, you could present it to your class. How else could you publish your work? You could literally send it to a publishing company or a newspaper. Anything else you could do? Literally just sharing it with anyone. The test also will accept answers like adding it to your writing portfolio. So in case you missed anything we just went over, here are the steps of the writing process and their definitions. For the test, you definitely need to know the definition for revising and editing, and you definitely need to know the definition for publishing, and you need to know this order.